Hey everybody, Mr. Quick here. Today we're going to be looking at Eureka Math / Engage New York Math, Module 5, Lesson 7, Distance on the Coordinate Plane. Yeah, we're going back to the coordinate plane. Today you're going to use absolute value to determine the distance between integers, or points, on the coordinate plane, and we're going to find the side lengths of polygons. So we're going to have a coordinate plane. You remember what that bad boy looks like, right? We have our quadrants. We have x-axis, we have y-axis, and we're going to give you some polygons on that coordinate plane, right? Some different shapes, whatever they may be, right? And so what we're going to do today is we're going to find out where the points are, the endpoints, and we're going to measure distance between those points using absolute value. Sorry, my dog just came down here. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. So first of all, here we have a chart, or I should say we have a coordinate plane. And you'll notice that there is a polygon here. We actually have a triangle and a rectangle. Now, in order to find the distance between these different points, we have to know what the points are. Now, I'm fairly confident, very confident actually, in your ability to find the points. So I'm going to actually jet on over to this chart. Now this is a chart and it tells us the different line segments. So for example, line segment AB, we go back, is between A and B. It's that simple. That's the line between A and B. All right. They have given us most of the points, right? So like the first point, the second point, and then I've left a blank here and here, so we're going to have to find the points on line segment AB, but again, on the actual assignment, they'll have you find more of the points, but I think we're pretty good at that, and so I wanted to make sure that we have time to look at the distance and then also the proof. So we want to find the distance between the points. So let's look at line segment AB, and remember, line segment is just a line that has two endpoints, like it doesn't go on beyond that. If it was a line, it would have arrows indicating that it goes on in both directions. If it was a ray, it would end here but go on in one direction. So for line segment AB, let's go back and take a look. So for point A and point B, now remember we go x-axis, y-axis, right, or xy here. So for point A, we're going back 2, so that's -2 for our first coordinate, and then we're going up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So point A is at -2, 8. Point B then is at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 over to the right, so it's positive. Then we're going up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's 9, positive 8. We knew the y coordinate was going to be the same because, right, it's on one line straight across. So we fill in our points, -2, 8, and then 9, 8. And we want to find the distance between the two. So if we go back and look, we're going to be focusing on the x-axis because the y-axis is the same, and that's why we know it's on one line, and it's a straight line. So we're going to be looking at the -2 and the 9, right? So if we use, let me erase some of this so we have some more room to write. If we use absolute value, A is -2, right? But it is 2, so the absolute value of -2 is 2 because it is 1, 2 away from 0. And then B is 9, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It is 9 away from 0, and absolute value of 9 is 9, right? So if B is 9 spots away from 0, and A is 2 spots away from 0, put those together, and the distance between the two is 11. And the proof of that is that we have the absolute value of 9 plus the absolute value of -2, and that equals 11. So again, essentially, we're just finding the absolute value between the 2 points, right? adding them all up. Now, the other thing you could do is just count. Start at A and say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And you should get the same answer. The reason that's not necessarily advisable, however, is because, one, it's really easy to mess that up. And if you're just off by even just a little bit, your answer is going to be wrong. And two, it's more time consuming. If you know that this is -2, which means it's 1, 2 spots away, and you know this is 9, right? Absolute value of -2 is 2. Absolute value of 9 is 9. Add them together, you get your answer. Okay, let's look at BC. Now they've given us the points here, right? So the difference here is going to be on the y-axis. So we see that B is here and C is here. So we're just going between these two spots, or these 2 points, here and here. Okay? So if B is at 9, let's erase that so we can see it a little bit better, is at 9, 8, and C is at 9, 2, we know we're going to look at the y coordinate. So absolute value of 8 plus the absolute value of 2 is 2 plus 8, gives us 10. I'm sorry, I goofed that up here. That's my bad. Okay, so going back, see, it's good that I made that mistake because then you can see that, hey, we all make mistakes, right? So these are both positive. So we're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, so we know the answer is going to be 6. How do we get there? Because they're both positive, they're both on the same side of 0, you want to find the difference between the two spots. So again, we're still going to take absolute value of 8, but this time, because again they're both positive, we're going to subtract absolute value of 2, and that's going to give us 6. All right? Now, let's look at CD. C is here, D is here. Now, because they're in different quadrants, meaning we're looking at the 2 and we're looking at -5, so we're looking at a positive and a negative, then once again we're going to take the absolute value, 2 plus absolute value of -5, and we're going to add them because they're one's positive, one's negative. So that would be 2 plus 5 is going to be 7. The distance is 7. We can confirm that by counting 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 plus 2 is 7. Okay. Let's look at 9, 8, and 9, -5, which is BD. So we're going from B to D. B is positive, D is negative. Because they're positive and negative, we're going to be looking at, here we're going to be looking at the 8 and the -5. Absolute value of 8 plus absolute value of -5 is going to give us 13 because of 8 plus 5. 13 spots away from one another. That's the distance between point B and point D on that line segment. Okay. Let's see here. Let's do this one. Let's do EF. We can keep going, you know, they're all kind of the same deal. This one, they're both negatives. So -2, -5, -2, -2. So we're going to be looking at the y coordinate. And that was EF. So we're going from E to F. Again, in this case, they're both negative. So they both have the same symbol, right? -5, which we're going to find the absolute value, and -2. And since they are on they're both negative, right? If they're both positive or they're both negative, we're going to subtract. So absolute value of -5 is 5, minus absolute value of -2, which is 2, and we find that they are 3 apart. Of course, we can check that because we can look at E and F, and we can say we can go from F to E, 1, 2, 3. We can go from E to F, 1, 2, 3. They're 3 apart. All right. So I hope that helps. I hope that makes some sense. We're going to work on these more in class. We could do the rest of these, but it would just be a matter of kind of me doing a lot more problems when they're very similar. And so we'll give you guys an opportunity to do these in class. I'm glad I made that little mistake because it shows, hey, we can all make mistakes. And hopefully you kind of see how it's good to consider your thinking, because I didn't catch it. It was, which one was that? It was this one, right? I didn't catch it until I thought 8 plus 2 would be 10. And then I went back and checked BC, and I was like, that's not 10 apart. That's not 10 spaces apart. So it's good that I made that mistake, so you can see how going back and checking your work can actually help you catch mistakes. And hey, then you turn in the assignment, you don't miss the problem, right? Okay, thank you for watching. We'll talk about this more in class. See you soon.